The time is 10:59, 10:59.
Or you may not want to talk to them, take it home. Okay, sure. I'll make.
Good morning. It's 11 a.m., August 14th, 2024. I'd like to begin the Henry County Commissioners meeting. Thank you all for attending. Would you please join me for a pledge of allegiance and also a short prayer?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Amen. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes of the last meeting?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the claims?
Make a motion to accept the claims as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the payroll?
Make a motion, we accept the payroll as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have 3 reports. We have the treasurer's monthly report for June.
I'll do them one at a time.
We also have a clerk's monthly report for July, and we have an innovative technical solutions executive summary report.
I make a motion, we accept all the reports as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. We have 5 food and beverage claims. The first one is BW Construction for the Basketball Hall of Fame, invoice number 2021810 for $5,890.91. We have a second one for Holiday Construction Group for the Basketball Hall of Fame, invoice number 3699-A10 for $275,258.66. Claim number 3 for the food and beverage is from Dudas Septic for the Shelter House, affidavit number 2016-78, invoice number 1703 for $275. Then we have a claim from James Ward for the Shelter House, affidavit number 2016-79, invoice numbers 1, 2, and 3. AB 43665 for $4,205.07. The fifth and final claim for food and beverage is for Browning Day for the Basketball Hall of Fame, invoice number 34636 for $8,807.28. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve all the food and beverage claims.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next on the agenda is an EDC update.
No questions?
No questions. Thank you, Penny. Chamber of Commerce update? No insurance update at this time. Henry County Health Department, Angela Cox is not going to be here today.
In the corner.
Braden Shore from the Highway Department. Do you or any of your other highway employees have anything to add?
So the contractor for chip seal is here on site. They're doing some dust lay. I see, I got it right. And they will be doing some sealing tomorrow. It's my understanding they're gonna have all the chip sealing done in like a very short period of time, 2 weeks. Yay.
And the Garner Street Bridge is closed. Correct. Thank you. Steve Rust, County Surveyor.
We're bringing to you today the stormwater ordinance that we discussed with you a while back. It is completed now. Susan Bakken is here from Christopher Burke Engineering, which is the firm that did it for us. They did a good job getting it done. Worked with us on, the different things that we addressed with them. Joe had a lot of input into it and Susan did too. So I'll let her tell you a little bit about it. And then if you got questions, we'll be glad to answer it.
Yes, so the stormwater ordinance as presented is one that very much mirrors what majority of the counties are going to. And it follows kind of the LTAP model. So that it'll provide more consistency, update charts and information that was in the old ordinance to the new information. And it also, it has a no net loss in the floodplain, so.
Thank you.
We did set a fee schedule with it. Joel has looked everything over. If you got any comments or anything.
You don't really need similar to these, those stormwater review. Yeah. Steve, suggesting some fees, and those were consistent with what Charlie. So that's going to be a second.
I think overall, this will be a good thing for new subdivisions and everything they're going in or any new businesses to keep everything up on the up and up on drainage.
Yes, which part of it do I need to read for 006?
Probably go through, and you have now therefore on each of these, each of the ordinances.
Okay, ordinance number 2024-08-12. Ordinance number 2024-08-12006. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners as follows. Chapter 155 of the Henry County Code, Title 6, the Henry County Development Code is hereby repealed and replaced with the text set forth on the attached Exhibit A. All of the provisions of the Henry County Code and Henry County Development Code which are not amended by this ordinance are repealed. Effective date. This ordinance shall be effective upon passage. Serviceability. Any provision contained in this ordinance which is found by a court of competent jurisdiction to be unlawful or unenforceable, or which is rendered inapplicable or invalid by subsequent legislation enactment shall be severed, and the rest of the remainder of this ordinance shall remain in full force and effect. Repealer. All ordinances that are in conflict with the terms of this ordinance are thereby repealed as of the effective date of this ordinance, adopted by the Board of Commissioners, Henry County, this day. Do I have a motion on this particular ordinance?
I'll make them. Get used to this, Mike. I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-08-12-006.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Your mic went down.
Ordinance number 2024-08-12007. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners as follows. The fees and charges of the Henry County Surveyor or Henry County Drainage Board for the review of plans for the development of real property shall be as follows. Minor subdivision, $250. Major subdivision, $500, plus $15 for each lot. Planned unit development, areas designated for residential use, $500, plus $15 per acre. Areas designated for commercial or industrial use, $1,000, plus $10 per acre. Wastewater treatment facilities, $1,000. Commercial or industrial developments, $1,000 plus $10 per acre. Residential development, single-family residence, $200. Multifamily or condominium, $250 per building. Amendment to recorded plat, $250. Replatting of existing subdivision, $250. Charges for non-employee engineering or professional review. In addition to the charges above, if the surveyor determines that the plan for the development requires a review of a consulting engineer or other professional, the applicant shall pay or reimburse the county for actual cost incurred in the review of the plan. The surveyor shall advise applicants of the need for review and shall provide the applicant with the information regarding the charge or hourly rate that will be charged by the consulting engineer or other professional in review of the plan prior to authorizing the work. All fees and charges must be paid prior to the issuance of a permit for development. All fees collected by the surveyor or drainage board for the review of plans as set forth in section 1A through 1H of this ordinance shall be credited to the non-reverting fund maintained for use by the surveyor for the enforcement of Henry County Code. Effective date, this ordinance shall be effective upon passage. Serviceability, any provision contained in this ordinance, which is found by a court of competent jurisdiction to be unlawful or unenforceable, or which is rendered inapplicable or invalid by subsequent legislation enactment, shall be severed, and the rest of, and the remainder of this ordinance shall remain in full force and effect. Repealers, all ordinance that are in conflict with terms of this ordinance are hereby repealed as of the effective date of this ordinance adopted by the Board of Commissioners, Henry County, on this day. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-08-12007.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And I'd like to thank you for having that done, because I think development is showing in Greenfield so much that we've already seen 109 start developing, and this is a good thing to do to keep things in check with everything. And the EDC for paying for half of it too to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. Planning Commission, Tom Green. Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Sproles. We have something else down there?
It's in the ordinances
Okay.
regarding the transfer
Okay.
of the dog.
All right, thank you. Auditor's Office?
Brian Clark is sitting back there in the corner.
Hello, Brian. How are you? Do you have anything to add to this meeting? Thank you for attending. Memorial Park? Assessor's Office?
Mm-mm.
Weights and Measures, 911. Brian, thank you. Henry County Emergency
They're not here.
Services, Mandy's not here. EMA, Tim Welsh. Okay. Okay,
You have anything? Bill, treasurer.
Bill Upchurch, the treasurer. Thank you, Bill. Next, we have three quotes, proposals. We have an interactive digital solutions camera for the Commissioner's Room, proposal number 17570 for $3,400.12.
So we approved the initial quote. This is the agreement for Joel to review. I didn't have time to get it to you yesterday. I think there's some stuff in there that based up for mediation and stuff, I want you to review. Okay. Okay, so I will make the motion to approve this agreement based upon Joel's review and any edits.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have a proposal for a Henry County Help Center.
Well, I don't see Mr. Lyle here. And I have questions for him about his proposal. So I'm just, since he's not here to answer any of the questions, I'll make a motion to table until he's here to answer questions.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have the Expo Board lease changes / Memorial Park. And we do have Brianna Chapman here, and the information that has been given to us would indicate that there would be a change in the lease with the commissioners and the Expo Board. So would you like to say something?
Yeah, we were asked to give back a portion of the south side of 100. That's part of our lease. We were asked to give it back to the county and to the park. So we set about coming up with what those changes would entail and the ramifications of that. We also brought it to the park board so they could make comments because we believed that it would affect them as well. So we wanted to make sure that they were happy with the changes as well. And then we sent on our proposal as well as the comments from the park board to the commissioner's office back in April. And we're just here today to find out if we can get some comment or response on those changes.
I know I had met with J.R. Martin and I think it was Mont Switzer and to talk about this stuff. I don't know if they met with the other two commissioners. What I wanted to do was sit down in a work session. So we as a group could go through that. I'm not sure why. Actually, I do know why it wasn't scheduled because I knew you guys were finishing up and getting the report from FPBH and kind of wanted to wait until we got that report and it was presented publicly. So that's why that work session never took place. But I still think that we need to have a work session so all of us can go over, because I think that my personal opinion, if we're going to be making changes to the lease, we need to look at all aspects of the lease to change as well. There may be some other items that need to be modified as well.
We're ready to move forward. So if you want to set a work session, we are ready to.
Are you able to set one today, or do you need to get with your board?
Well, I guess if you want to throw me some dates, I'll run it by them.
I'll tell you what, why don't we, after the meeting, I'll email everybody. We'll get with everybody on the dates and we'll email them so that we can get that scheduled.
Okay.
Shouldn't you include Joel on that too?
You, yeah, we'll include you in that meeting.
Draft up any kind of
Yeah,
amendment.
uh-huh, yep, yep, so.
Sounds like, because we're gonna be legally changing some things, I think you ought to be involved with that.
Yeah. So do I need to make that in the form of a motion? Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we set a combined work session between the Expo Board and the commissioners to discuss any amendments to the lease at a future date, and I'll get with you. I have to be in Rushville at 1:00, but I will get with the dates today.
Okay, any other questions for me? Good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, in new business, we have a multi-hazard mitigation plan. And it says the auditor has the packet.
Yeah, the report's 180 pages, so we didn't print out 4 copies of 180 pages. Troy, do you want to come up and,
We'll have Troy Jester come to the podium.
So, Mr. Chair, it's request that I read
You want me to just give an overview?
Yeah,
of the
mhm.
Plan. So the multi-hazard mitigation plan is a requirement for each county in the state of Indiana to, well, actually all states, to review and update every 5 years. So Henry County worked with my company towards the end of last year. I think it's just been over a year to start this project. It is paid primarily for the project by FEMA. So there is a grant, a matching grant that funds the project. And it looks at hazards that affect the county. And then any updates from the previous plan looks into all natural occurring hazards as well as IT-based hazards, as well as man-made hazards and threats to the county as a whole. The plan also includes a scenario for a tornado, and the planning team, as well as Director Welsh, had selected the Knightstown area. So we portrayed that in the Knightstown area to show the destruction that a tornado would cause in that space. And it predicts the number of homes and also the population that would be involved in that. We also did a hazardous materials leak or release, environmental release. And that was selected for the Keystone up here on State Road 3, just south of Mount Summit. And we portrayed it to the plume showing prevailing wind, southwesterly wind up towards the Blue River School Corporation. For planning purposes, Director Walsh wanted to kind of look at that. The plan also includes mitigation strategies for the next 5 years. And that's kind of the wish list, if you will, or the plans that the director would have for the next 5 years in regard to emergency management. But it also includes school corporations, local jurisdictions, local towns, and other incorporated, unincorporated areas in the event that they had any mitigation strategies for the future. Those could be tornado sirens for notification of severe weather. They could be emergency shelters, could be safe house, safe rooms, with the active threat situations and that as a threat. So in a nutshell, that's what that plan is, and it is a very lengthy document. There's lots of maps in the document that shows the different municipalities, floodplains and flood affected areas. So that's a good planning reference document. Some of that changes, but the meat of the document is from a floodplain perspective is the same from last session, or last plan itself.
Thank you, Troy. And I know that myself, along with many other people, have attended several meetings with you, and and gone over the information in this report. And we're very happy to have it and happy to have the job that you've done in order to prepare it for us. And it's a pretty much a living document in that there's phone contact numbers for individuals throughout the county. If something would happen, we've got a document we can go to and say, how do you get a hold of this person, this person, this person? It's all there. And that those things change from time to time, but we appreciate the update. And we, at this time, would want to entertain a motion in regards to accepting the plan.
I will make a motion to accept the multi-hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
We have on the agenda for new business for Chief Deputy Josh Smith and Deputy Josh Wilson in regards to grant funding related to AEDs.
Good morning. We're just requesting I guess we had to have a grant number. So we have an officer that's going to be hoping to secure a grant for new AEDs. So that's all that is.
Okay,
Any questions?
so
No, but I will let you know that I'm talking to somebody at the Reed Foundation. I was made aware of that they have a bunch of AEDs and they will give them away, so I'm working with
Okay,
someone.
good.
He was asking me locations, I just hadn't gotten around to getting it out to everybody. So I would still go forward with the grant,
Right.
but I'm working with someone to get multiple AEDs throughout the county.
Yeah, that would be good. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we only have 4 or 6 that's been refurbished. I think this grant is maybe for 2 more. So the more that we can get in cars, the better. So the more-
I will make the motion to approve the grant number.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have the 2025 Henry County holiday schedule. Do we read each day? I don't, or do we just say we have the copy?
I don't think we need to, do you, Joel? We don't need to read each holiday, because it'll be made public, so I will make the motion to approve the 2025 Henry County holiday schedule.
I'm looking at it to decide whether I like it or not. I'll second that.
Exactly. I don't know. I was gonna say.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. We have a crisis intervention team opioid fund request. This request has been sent to the commissioners by Angela Cox, MSRN Administrator of the Henry County Health Department. Dear Commissioners, a collaborative effort is underway to create a crisis intervention team, CIT, for the citizens of Henry County. This is an effort is modeled after a framework from the National Alliance of Mental Illness, NAMI. Crisis intervention team is a pre-arrest jail diversion that promotes and supports collaborative effort to create and sustain more effective interactions among law enforcement, mental health care providers, individuals with mental issues, their families, and communities, and to reduce the stigma of mental illness. NAMI, Indiana, provides a framework to interested communities that provide CIT into more and more areas around the state. One of our initial steps is to establish and train 4 CIT coordinators: an overall program coordinator, a law enforcement coordinator, an advocacy coordinator, and a mental health professions coordinator. The individual course fee is $450. Mental health professionals coordinator is able to cover the training costs through their employer. This leaves us with a total request of $1,350 for the 3 remaining coordinators. We understand that there is a process for this funding request that has and a decision could be made up to 30 or more days away. To expedite the training, would it be acceptable for the health department to pay for the training upfront and upon approval of this request, have the funds deposited into the health department account as reimbursement? Question mark. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, Angela Cox.
Joel, is that an acceptable? I think that this is a outstanding program that's getting ready to take place, so I will make the motion to approve. Is it, would I be able to just also give this to the council to put on their itinerary as well tonight? Okay. So I will make the motion to approve the reimbursement from the opioids.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have the Wilbur Wright
I'm
Trail.
going to stop you for 1 second.
I'm
So then
stopped.
we can go ahead for the next meeting, have it in the resolution for both us and the council. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Wilbur Wright Trail near the YMCA.
I don't know that we have the documentation.
Yeah,
That's
I can
just-
address that
okay.
briefly. As you know, when the Wilbur Wright Trail was moved due to, or relocated, I guess, due to the Northfield Park development that's going on, part of where it currently sits is owned by the developer, and part of what was the trail, which is technically titled in the name of the county, is now part of a building lot or a road or some part of that development. So in connection with that process, we have to exchange deeds in order to get the property vested in the right owner. I'm in the process of working with the owner to try to get that done. It's a little bit complicated because the owner has a mortgage that was taken out against the entirety of the property, so we have to work with the owner's bank to get a partial release for that. So that's just an additional step in the process, but I don't anticipate it taking that long, but I would like the commissioners to authorize the execution of deeds and any other documents that would be necessary to correct ownership of the Wilbur Wright Trail near the YMCA.
So basically, we're just swapping property. to
Correct.
move The trail.
Yeah, when you approve the trail being relocated, where it is still now technically titled, or part of it, a small part of it's technically titled in the name of the developer. Likewise, part of what the trail actually sits is titled in the name of the developer right now.
I will make that motion.
And you're confident that this isn't going to cause any problems?
No, it shouldn't. There was a discussion when this started as to doing it before construction.
I remember
And
that.
then the
Mhm.
concern was, well, what if they get into construction and move it? And later on, then we're doing the same process again, or if it doesn't end up being exactly where the surveyed location is or something like that. So there's been I guess, an as-built location of it surveyed. So I'm confident that this will correct it.
That being said, I will second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have a weights and measures amend chapter 111.
So Gabe had sent me this. There's some ambiguity in the current chapter for weights and measures that needs to be ironed out a little bit more where stickers, and so he can find for stickers. And so this is the amended that he wants to put into ordinance form for amending the development code. It will just help him out with his inspections, and if people remove the stickers, he can find and do all those things.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't think we need to make a motion on this one. It's just when the ordinance is.
We have a motion to amend chapter 111 dash, or
We don't need to do a motion that,
we don't
once,
need a motion.
once Joel does the ordinance, then that'll come back for us
Good.
to.
Next, we have an ordinance, corrected ordinance vacating a public way.
So when we vacated the public way that was in Hillsborough, afterwards it was found that it said South Street instead of Line Street. And so all this ordinance is doing is correcting, it's the same ordinance, but with the correct platted right of way known as Line Street.
So it's a corrected ordinance number 2024-06-21004. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Resolution of Henry County, Indiana Commissioners regarding the transfer of a police canine from Henry County, Indiana to Whitestown, Indiana. Sheriff Sproles.
Just a quick explanation here. We have a deputy that is leaving to go to Whitestown, full-time, and he's a recent K-9 officer, for us. He is going up there for a $77,000 a year starting pay, so can't blame him. Great officer, so it's a tough loss. Also, the K-9 is about a year old. And I'm thankful for Whitestown being amicable in saying that they would give us $18,000 to purchase the K-9. That's about what we have in it. So we're recouping those funds to go back into the K-9 fund to, replace the K-9 here in the near future. That is all on that. I want to put a plug in for the CIT Crisis Intervention Teamwork. There's been a lot of work going into that. Judge McCord's heading that up, but just all the way across the board, I think the last meeting we had 20-some people there. And so there is a lot of effort being put into that, and I do appreciate that. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions on the K-9?
No questions.
Thank you. This ordinance is to the K-9 will be transferred from Henry County to Whitestown. And there is a sum of money associated with this transfer. And that sum was
$18,000.
$18,000.
Yep.
So that's resolution 2024-07-26010. Is there a motion?
I will make the motion to accept resolution 2024-07-26.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Do we have anything else from those that have participated in this 34-minute meeting?
Short meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. We're adjourned.